Hey there everyone, I'm Sam the Pug, and I love you all. Hang on a second. Scratch, 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 scratch. Okay, now I'm to introduce my master's review for Up. He is a really good and smart master who knows a lot about movies, especially Pixar movies. Scratch, 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 scratch. Is that a flea? Is there a flea there? No, I don't see a flea. Scratch my face on the floor. Scratch my face on the carpet. Ooh, that feels so good. Ooh, that feels good. Scratch. Oh, that feels nice. Anyway, I'm going to take a doggy nap because I'm old, tired. So enjoy my master's review of... Is that a squirrel? No, it's not a squirrel. Enjoy the review, everyone. Up is Pixar's 10th film and the second film directed by Pete Docter. This movie opens with a young boy named Carl Fredricksen who loves adventure and admires this great explorer named Charles Muntz. One day he discovers a girl named Ellie, and the two of them find out that they really love adventure also. And they're two completely different personalities. Carl's very shy and doesn't talk a lot. Ellie's very out there, enthusiastic, probably has ADD, but whatever. They both click, fall in love, and the first 10 minutes showcases their entire life together. And I'm not spoiling anything here, but the movie eventually goes into them as an old couple as Carl has to see Ellie die. So now Carl is a bitter, cranky old man, voiced by Ed Asner, whose house is about to be taken away from him due to some unfortunate circumstances. So out of desperation and an attempt to fulfill his wife's dream about planning their house on Paradise Falls in South America, Carl somehow, doesn't really matter how, gathers a bunch of balloons, ties them to his house as the house takes off and flies to South America. And on this journey we encounter a Boy Scout named Russell who finds himself caught in the mix, a dog named Doug, and a bird that's named Kevin. A really colorful, giant peacock dinosaur-like bird named Kevin. And from there, it's a fairly complicated, okay, maybe not complicated, but kind of ridiculous-sounding plot. But, once again, like with Ratatouille, Pixar works their magic and makes it a classic. Once again, another masterpiece from Pixar. Up was a big deal when it came out. Everybody loved this movie, and with good reason. I mean, it was emotionally powerful, it's very funny. It was the second animated film ever to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture, the first being Beauty and the Beast, because this was the year they went to 10 nominations, because I think what happened was people were complaining about WALL-E and The Dark Knight, mainly The Dark Knight, not getting a Best Picture nomination, so the Academy decided to bump it up to 10. At least that's my theory. But the one thing that everyone talks about, and I'll just get it out of the way right now, is the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes pretty much feels like its own movie, and it is really well made. Like the first 40 minutes of WALL-E, there's no dialogue, you can understand everything from the visuals and the expressions from the characters, and it will really leave you heartbroken in the end. And the rest of the movie, like when I first saw it, I thought the rest of the movie was, well, good, but the first 10 minutes were just so good that the rest of the movie comes across as underwhelming. But having watched it again in prep for this review, that is not the case at all. It still carries the emotion that that first 10 minutes had, especially whenever Carl has to think back on his wife or things that remind him of Ellie. But aside from that, it's also really funny, especially your side characters. Russell is a great supporting character, this little fat Asian Boy Scout. He's really great. I love what they do with the bird Kevin. This bird doesn't speak at all. It's very colorful, but its body motions and the way it acts gives it a personality. And the best thing in the movie are the dogs. They are the funniest things in the movie. The dogs have these voice boxes that allow them to basically speak English, but it basically translates their thoughts because they still act like dogs. They don't physically speak. And one of the funniest things is that there's this leader named Alpha, which is a very menacing dog, but his collar's broken, so he just basically talks in a squeaky Alvin and the Chipmunks voice, and it is really, really funny seeing that funny voice coming out of something that menacing looking. And I love the feeling of the old adventure films that this movie has, most notably The Lost World from 1925. There's basically these characters going into uncharted territory, encountering a bunch of strange things. And hell, even Paradise Falls reminds me of a shot from that original Lost World movie from 1925. And also, I gotta say, it's a really colorful movie. I mean, again, I said this was from Pete Docter, but if you take a look at Monsters, Inc. and Inside Out, you can easily tell when a Pixar movie is his just on the fact that it is so colorful. They're like, the colors just pop, and it is beautiful. It's like looking at a rainbow that's constantly moving. And all the voice actors do a good job. Christopher Plummer plays the explorer Charles Muntz, which, if there was a problem I had with the movie, it's that when we get reintroduced to Charles Muntz in the middle of the movie, he's about the same age as Carl, even though in the beginning of the movie, Charles Muntz seems to be about 3 decades older than Carl, who's a kid at the beginning of the movie, but that's nothing. Like, it would have been nice if they explained that, but whatever, it's not going to distract you. But Christopher Plummer does a great job. But the two best actors in the movie, I think, are Ed Asner as Carl, because Ed Asner's voice is just perfect for the look of that character. Well, it's again proving that Pixar knows how to nail their voice actors. And then Bob Peterson, who's the co-director of this movie, but also voices Doug. It's so something that would come out of that dog. And they nail what a dog would say if it like was looking down all sad and depressed, or if it was all smiling and happy. It's just great. Like, these guys really are geniuses. And in terms of the dogs, they've come a long way since that scary Scud in the first Toy Story, where it was just like didn't look like a dog, but whatever. Times change, the animation gets better. But in the end, Up is a phenomenal movie if you haven't seen it. Hardly anything to complain about. It's beautifully animated. It's very, very funny, especially with the dogs. It's very emotional, and it has a great message saying that life itself can be an adventure. Even if you physically don't travel the world, just the stuff that you do with other people, the people that you love, the fact that you shared your life with them is an adventure enough. So that is a really great message. And if you haven't seen Up, then get off your ass and go see it right now. I still like WALL-E a tad better, but Up is definitely a masterpiece regardless. And that's my review for Up. Now, leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Like, subscribe, share me with your friends. And this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.